everybody. This is CounterfitCookie and SlenderChaser as well. And today we're just going to be talking about a couple of random things, just different topics, just kind of discussing them a little bit. New and old, just kind of getting the talk going. For gameplay, we have some Counter-Strike footage following, or rather, it's preceding some Rainbow Six footage. This Counter-Strike footage is a little bit old. It's something I had from like 2015, but it's a nice little spree I go on. Anyway, so the first thing we wanted to talk about today was Call of Duty and where it's going. The last couple of years, I don't think anybody can say Call of Duty's been their favorite game or series of games. They've kind of been playing around with the futuristic stuff, and I don't know. It's not working for me. It's not working for a lot of other guys I know, and it's just kind of, I don't know. It was kind of. And, it kind of got to the point where I think they were running out of ideas. They were having trouble keeping it fresh, and I think that's why they're going back to their roots with Call of Duty World War II. I played a lot of Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty 3, Call of Duty World at War, and they're great games. But I don't think, in my opinion, that going back to World War II is going to save their franchise. I don't know if that's what they're trying to do. Sledgehammer, they claimed that they've been, planning this for a little while, and it's definitely not copying Battlefield 1. But although Battlefield 1 was World War 1, I don't know. I honestly think that they're just grasping for straws, looking for ideas. Who knows? Who knows the critical reception? It looks like as of right now, a lot of people are buying into it. They like this idea. Jesse, what do you think?
I don't know. It's like you said, kind of the grasping for straws things. It really does look like they're trying to ride the success train that Battlefield 1 saw early on. And, everyone wanted a boots-on-ground Call of Duty, but going back to what they used to be maybe isn't the best thing for them to do. It's kind of too late in the game now for them to really try it.
Well, I think you're right there in saying that it might be too little too late, but I don't know. I think it's just kind of too late in general for Call of Duty to hit an upslope again. They're kind of at a point where they've done just about everything you can do with the engine that they're on. I know they keep doing incremental updates and this and that, but it really just feels like the same game, and I know a lot of people are happy with that. There's always going to be a dedicated fan base, but I think it's going to slowly decline as the years go forward. And I think this is just the beginning. I mean, we have a game series that's literally just walking in the same footprints in the snow, Now they're going backwards. They're just taking steps backward, but they're not deviating from the same footsteps. They're just taking the same ones. And I don't know. For someone who wants something new and refreshing, for someone who praised Titanfall, although it didn't last very long, for being new. I want to see new things, and Call of Duty going back to World War II, although I get a little nostalgic because I really liked World at War, I really liked Call of Duty 2. I don't think it's going to give me what I want, which is back glory days playing Call of Duty 2, over again. But I guess we'll move on to our next topic, which is emulators. I figured we'd talk about this because CEMU, I'm not sure what the acronym stands for, but CEMU is a very rapidly developing emulator for the Wii U that obviously works for PC, and it now can play Zelda Breath of the Wild completely, 100%. And it's astounding to see how fast this emulator has come up and hit every tier, every part of the process, every goal that they set, they've hit. They've done it very quickly, and honestly, this is coming from someone who was in the back of their mind planning to buy a Nintendo Switch. I'm now, and obviously this is pirating, but I do think that I'm probably just going to use this emulator to play Zelda Breath of the Wild now. It's it's one of those situations where this technology is it's great. I'm very glad to see it come up, and the fact that it's been able to progress so rapidly, I think is a real testament for Nintendo, saying, "Hey, you got some kick-ass fans that really like what you've been doing, and really like Zelda." And I think that's kind of mutual. I think everybody really likes Zelda. I mean, from what you've seen, you like what you see of the game.
Yeah, no, I just like you. I saw how it played and how it looked, and I also thought about getting a Switch just so I could play it. And I also wanted a Switch so I could play the coming Mario Odyssey game. And if the CMU is doing well enough, they might have an emulator for it. And I think they're doing what they're doing. They're doing it really well. And I think it's a good thing that they're out here making these games available for PC players.
I do think the same thing. I think, see, the biggest thing for me is, and we talked about this earlier, is archiving of games. I'm really disappointed to see in the last decade or so, games have become a lot more exclusive to their platform. We see Nintendo really being private with their games. You know, you have to have a Nintendo console to experience Mario Kart, to experience Super Smash Bros. And to see these emulators come up, it's really good for the fact that I don't have to buy a GameCube to play Super Smash Bros. Brawl, for instance. I can, get an emulator, or Melee is what I meant, but I can get an emulator. I can play these games that otherwise I'd have to go to an old shop or a GameStop maybe and find one of these old consoles and keep up with these old games. And to be able to archive these games is really something special. I think it gives a lot, and it is insulting to Nintendo to have people pirating their games, and likewise, and pirating is good. In bad, it's a lot of bad, but it's also good. I think in different aspects. One, it's providing, in this case, it's providing that archiving capabilities, and it also allows people to try games before you buy. I think this market has really gone up and up and up, and video game prices are getting pretty crazy nowadays. And giving people the ability to try these games before they buy is something I approve of. We don't see demos and trials as much as we used to. I do see how it can hurt the company, but I like to see technology develop, and I like to see the archiving of video games, and I like to see where things can go. So I, I don't know. I just really I really like seeing Simu. I watch update videos all the time just to see where it's at and how
Yeah,
far along you can now play Breath of the Wild, which is 100%, which is incredible.
it's a really impressive program.
Very, very, very cool. So beyond that, I think the next topic we're going to move on to is Disney buying Star Wars, and this is kind of an old one. Everybody knows it by now, but I just it's still kind of hard to wrap my head around. I mean, when I think of Disney, I think of some guy holding his hand out, having thousands of people salute him back or bowing down to him. I don't know. Disney dips their hand into just about everything nowadays, and now they own Star Wars. They own Star Wars. So many kids' childhoods and stuff. Not to say that Disney can't handle things. I mean, I did approve of the first Pirates of the Caribbean film a whole lot. I think I speak for everyone on that almost. I don't want to see it done to death, and I think Star Wars could definitely they could just keep making movies and movies, and they're going to keep making money on it. And I don't want to see them keep going until Star Wars kind of becomes stale and watered down. But as far as the first movie goes, I think it was pretty good. It was very, very similar to A New Hope. I wanted to see more, and I think that's their free pass. We all get a little nostalgic together and say, "Oh, this is a lot like A New Hope, and it's new characters, and we're getting to know them," and so they get a free pass on this one. They get a free pass, and we all say, "All right, we'll just enjoy the movie and have some fun together." But I'd like for them to get a little bit more creative plot wise and kind of do something new. So I was really looking forward to Rogue One when they announced it. It was actually interesting to see something not a numbered film and something kind of prequel related, in between 3 and 4. And to put it simply, I don't know. I did not feel very good about it. I saw the trailers for it and I thought, maybe they're going to explore the Imperial side, like, oh, maybe the Empire will kind of be the middle ground, like they won't be total bad guys. But no, the movie just kind of it used cliche characters and did a cliche story and then had a cliche ending. I I approve of some of the cinematic stuff, like the camera angles and the way they introduced characters were really good, but just the characters were flat. I didn't care when they died, and there were so many cliches. I feel like it kind of watered down the experience, and I was a little disappointed. Um, I understand you have a pretty similar opinion.
Yeah, no, watching the movie, you want to go in and be able to fully enjoy it. And any normal moviegoer who wants to enjoy just a base movie, it's a great movie. But as a Star Wars fan, it's kind of hard to go in and truly enjoy it when there's no real character development, and a lot of the stuff that should have been fleshed out wasn't. And it seemed to be kind of a tunnel visioned movie. Like there was some bottleneck that just stopped them from doing what really could have been a great movie.
Yeah, watching the movie, I kind of thought that they made it backwards, kind of thing. I feel like they sat down and they said, what can we do as far as making a prequel esque movie, a movie that's set kind of in the past, and they looked at this Death Star plot hole, I guess you would say, a literal plot hole, the vent that allowed them to blow up the Death Star, and they kind of took that and ran with it, and although I think it's respectable. It's respectable. I mean, they definitely put effort forth. I feel like that the whole movie was kind of working towards the end, and they made it to where these characters just had to die, and the character relationships weren't good enough. I saw a lot of cliches, and oh, I'm the character with the devastated past with a dead family member, and I'm the guy that believes in the Force, and I'm the big bombastic dude with a minigun. It just I don't know. The relationships weren't well formed, and we didn't care. If Han Solo would have died in the movies, we would have cared. If one of these characters died, and they all did, we just I don't know. Many of us didn't bat an eye, and then they add in a badass Darth Vader scene, and everybody claps. So I guess
Hard to care for those characters.
yeah, I just feel like the cameos were selling the movie instead of the actual plot. But
Yeah.
I don't know. We can hope for the best from here. So our last topic is actually PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, and the reason I wanted to talk about this is because this game is actually astounding. The fact that it entered a market where there's already so many games just like it. You have H1Z1, you have Ark Survival Evolved, you have all these different games that the culling that have tried to do very similar things, and hell, it was even a mod before this, and they try to do these exact same things, but the PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds comes out of nowhere and it does the same things, but it does it better and breaks so many records and becomes crazy popular. I'm amazed that it was able to do this, and I'm really interested to see where it goes moving forward. I don't know if it has staying power. That's one thing I'm not really sure about with this game. It rose so fast and it's still rising. It's still breaking records. I don't know if it's going to stay like that. Will Counter-Strike eventually pass it up again, or what? What are some of your thoughts?
As someone who's put since I bought it a lot of hours to the game, I think it's like you said, it's not something that's exactly new, but there's something about it that makes it feel way better than what's already out there.
Oh,
It's the
definitely.
full
It's very refined.
it's the full experience of the game that makes it just its own thing. And like you said, it did come from a mod, but it's come so far from that it's a great thing, and it's really fun to experience.
For sure. I've had a ton of fun playing it so far. Like you said, you have as well. I'm really interested to see where it goes from here. I'm just interested
Yeah,
to see whether or not the staying power is there.
yeah.
We'll have to see what
A
they
year from
add.
now, how well it sticks.
Yeah, we'll have to see how well it does. Um, well, these are the topics that we planned on just talking about today. It's just kind of a chill session, and so yeah, we'll definitely see more Slender Chaser in the future. And this is
Nope.
Counterfeit Cookie, and I'm out. See you.